Hey everybody, welcome to Digital Wonder. Today we're going to go over the top 10 sports psychology tips you can use in your everyday life. Being a top-rated athlete is not child's play or a walk in the park. It is a hard job that comes with a lot of discipline and training. Training in this case isn't only physical training. All top-rated stars work with sports psychologists to help them be the best at what they do. And today, we bring you some tips from sports psychology that you can use in your everyday life. Make sure to watch until number 10 because it's one of the most amazing sports psychology tips I've ever seen. Tip 1. Being nervous isn't always a bad thing. Your first thought might be that nervousness is definitely a bad thing, but you are wrong. The key is to use your nerves to push yourself forward. How do you do this? Well, you can achieve this by rechanneling the negative feelings of nervousness into excitement. That sounds odd, doesn't it? Well, it does work. You can rechannel the energy by repeatedly telling yourself that you are only excited and not nervous. It is normal for every one of us to feel nervous before a big performance, whether a big presentation at work, a test at school, or having to speak before a crowd of people. It is effective to reframe anxiety as excitement because both are high levels of arousal, which means that your body will fall for the trick. You can then use the emotion to fuel yourself to victory. Tip 2. Don't do all the work yourself. While it is important for all athletes to learn how to take care of themselves, it is also important for them to learn how to let other people take care of them. For example, an athlete who knows that he gets motivated by the cheering of the crowd could ask fans to attend his performance so that they can cheer for him, rather than him having to bear the weight of motivating himself. Likewise, you should learn when to ask for help. You should know when to stop and ask somebody to lend a hand. Just because you think you can do it all alone doesn't mean that you should try to do it all alone. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that you can do everything by yourself, because more often than not, you will find out that you can't. Tip 3. Train and refine your skills. Nothing good ever comes easy. Athletes don't just lie around and depend on their skills to make things work out for them. Although they are naturally gifted in the field, they still train for extended periods every day to achieve their full potential. Every world-class athlete you see today has trained very hard to get where they are. Likewise, you shouldn't ever sit back and rely on the skills that you currently have. You should push yourself harder every single day. You shouldn't ever be comfortable with mediocrity. Take definitive measures to increase your productivity and hone your skills. Just because you are good at something right now doesn't mean that you can't be significantly better. Becoming better takes a lot of effort. Tip 4. Eat well. Athletes need to eat well. A good and well-balanced meal is essential to ensure maximum performance in competitions. However, it is also essential that you eat well-balanced meals in your everyday life. Eating healthy and nourishing meals will translate to you having more energy, thinking clearly and more creatively, staying focused and motivated, and also being the best and healthiest version of yourself that you can be. Tip 5. C for consistency. In sports psychology, consistency is sometimes referred to as the holy grail of competitive sport. Improved consistency comes as a result of taking the mental aspect of sport seriously, because psychology also has a big role to play in performance in competitions. If the athlete's psychology isn't at par, then his performance will likely be subpar. This relates to everyday life as well. A common misconception is that the hardest part of doing anything is coming to the decision to start. This is false. The hardest part of doing anything is consistency. Keeping the same energy that you had at the beginning is harder than it seems, especially when you're still a way off from the finish line. Putting in the extra work to maintain consistency is an effort you should put in, because consistency gets the job done faster and better. Tip 6. Have a clear vision of your end game. In sports, one of the major keys is knowing what you want the end game to be and having a concise vision of what you want the end to look like. This helps athletes train towards a specific goal and also remain focused. In everyday life, you must have a clear vision of what you want the end result to be when you are about to start a new task. The more detailed and concise that your goal is, the better for you. Setting goals at the beginning of tasks has been proven to help with motivation in the long run, as well as helping to keep you focused. Knowing what lies in wait for you at the end will help you put in more effort towards reaching your goals. Having a clear vision of the end game will help keep you on track. Tip 7. Embrace every experience. Athletes don't always win. Sometimes they lose to other athletes. And while that may be disappointing, it's life, and life doesn't always go the way we want it to. You will definitely have some experiences that you would rather do without, but you have to remember that what really matters isn't the bad experience itself, but the way you deal with it. So embrace every experience and learn from it. Then leave the past in the past where it belongs. Tip 8. Work on your concentration. Needless to say, athletes need to concentrate all the time. They need maximum concentration both while in training and in competitions, and not only because they want to win, but also because even a moment of loss of concentration can lead to injury and have dire effects. Concentration comes with attention, and you need to learn what to pay attention to and when. Developing your selective attention skills will help you tune out distractions as you go about performing your daily tasks. This is an important skill for athletes because they need to tune out some things like roaring crowds while concentrating on the finish line and how to get themselves across it before other athletes. There are some tips to help you improve your concentration, and they include making a to-do list in order of priority, taking things one at a time rather than multitasking, and the most obvious one, muting your social media. These small tips will significantly improve your concentration. Tip 9. Build your discipline. The top athletes in the world do not work out or train only when it suits them. They do not lie around in bed until they finally get the urge to relax. What they do is follow a strict set of rules, diet plans, and workout and training schedules. Does this mean that they enjoy it all the time? No, they don't. But building discipline is one of the biggest and most effective tips that sports psychology has to offer. Without discipline, you are unlikely to get anywhere. While you don't need to adhere to a military-style schedule, you would reap a lot of benefits from creating a schedule and sticking strictly to it. Athletes give their best performance when they adhere to a disciplined training schedule, and you can replicate this result in your life too. You are more likely to achieve your goals better when you stick to a disciplined schedule. Tip 10. Create time to relax. This tip is a no-brainer for athletes. Coaches make sure that their athletes get enough hours of sleep every day. Psychology recommends between 7 and 8 hours of sleep daily for adults, and it is important to stick as closely to this number as possible. Your body is not a machine, and so it can't keep going on and on without adequate rest, or it will break down. You need to create time for yourself to relax and relieve stress. A stressed and unrested body is a disaster waiting to happen. No matter how much you have prepared, no matter how many pep talks to give yourself, the truth is that you can't perform well if your body isn't in agreement because it is too tired. Furthermore, it has been proven that relaxation and rest boost performance, and sports psychology has found that athletes perform better when they relax before a performance. And there you have it. These tips from sports psychology will definitely prove to be useful and effective in your day-to-day life. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss more videos of sports psychology tips and much more. Check out this playlist of my top 10 videos of psychology tips, and I'll see you in the next video.